Hey guys, it's Rebecca for Mama Bear Custom Wreaths, and welcome to my channel, Mama Bear Custom Wreaths, where I make wreaths and all things home decor, and I show you how I do it all. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much and welcome as well. Today we're going to be making a beach themed wreath, and my inspiration came when I saw this adorable little seahorse, and it says sea, sand, and sunshine in sparkly like aqua blue glittery letters. So I thought this was super cute and I couldn't wait to create something. Now you guys have seen the end product. I have not. I have an idea of what I want to make, but normally my ideas just change as I'm making it. So I will give you a list of the materials that I use in the description box and links to anything that you can get online. All right, guys. So we're going to be using a 14-inch wreath, okay? And if you notice, this 14-inch wreath has one side where it curves up like this. And then if you flip it over, it's concave. Okay, so this 14-inch wreath, this is going to be our top, and the concave part is going to be our bottom. If you also notice, this wreath has 4 bars. We're going to number these 1, 2, 3, and 4. We also have crossbars. We have 6 crossbars, which give us a total of 6 sections, okay? So I'm gonna be giving you instructions on on bar 1, I'm gonna be referring to this one. So let's turn our wreath upside down, which is the concave way. And let's take a chenille stem and we're gonna fold it in half and we're gonna make a V. And we're gonna go on bar 1 and our crossbar, and we're just gonna put our chenille stem through the wire and tie it a couple times to make sure it's on there safe. So we're gonna be using the bottom 3 sections, and we're gonna use burlap, not deco mesh, burlap, on these 3 sections here, okay? So I have 5.5-inch burlap. Now burlap is not deco mesh. So I have deco mesh here. See how thin that is? That's deco mesh. Burlap is a lot thicker. It's a lot thicker and more rough. So this is different, okay? If you cannot find burlap, you can use deco mesh that's like a jute color or a neutral color if you can't find any. But if you can get your hands on some 5.5-inch burlap, I would do it because I think it looks better for this project. Okay, so we're not gonna be using scissors except to cut off our strays here. But we're gonna be using a method that I call the Mama Bear method, which means we're not gonna cut our deco mesh or our burlap at all. And what does this do? This prevents fraying. This will keep your wreath looking beautiful for longer because you won't have all these pesky little strays everywhere. And you don't have to be cutting and cutting every so inches and measuring and the whole headache of doing that. So this is a great method. It makes your poofs look poofier and it doesn't fray and it's so much easier. So let's start. Let's roll out our deco mesh and we're just gonna get the end, maybe about this much. And we're gonna go into our wreath, which again is concave up. So we have the concave side up. And we're just gonna place our burlap right in the center of our chenille stem. And we're gonna tie it. 1, 2. Okay, so it looks like this. Now we're gonna take our burlap and just push it through bars 1 and 2. Remember, this is bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. So we're gonna start between bars 1 and 2. And we're just gonna push our deco mesh through that. Okay, you see that? It's just being pushed through bars 1 and 2. And then I'm gonna push it out enough this length. Should just make a fist and have a little bit poking out, okay? And we're gonna use that sophisticated measuring method for our wreath. Very, very precise, I know. But it doesn't matter, I promise you. You don't have to be precise in this method. So now we're gonna go through bars 2 and 3, do the same thing, and make a fist and measure the length of our burlap. Now I'm gonna stick my burlap through bars 3 and 4. And make a fist. I don't know what's going on here. It's going crazy on me. Okay, so this is what our wreath looks like so far. We're gonna kind of just scoot that over to the end. And then on the burlap, we're just gonna twist it once. I can do it once or twice and just twist it. And then we're gonna go back down to bars 1 and 2 and put our burlap through there. So we're gonna continue doing the same procedure until we get to our next crossbar, and I'm just gonna speed it up. And that's our section. Our first is just one section. Now, we're just gonna continue on to our next section. And I'm basically gonna, this is our crossbar, so it ends right here. You can see that, okay? So we're basically going to do the same thing all over again. We're gonna twist it and then go back up to bars 1 and 2. And then we're going to close it with our fist to measure it. Go through bars 2 and 3 and do that. So we're gonna do that for a total, we're gonna finish this section and one more section. So a total of 3 sections, we're gonna put burlap, and I'll be right back. I told you I was gonna change my mind. We're gonna do 2 sections, just 2 sections. So, because 3 was gonna look too much. This is really full. So these are our 2 sections. This is just 2 sections of burlap. So now let's tie it in, shall we? So this is our last piece here. We're gonna take our V and we're gonna tie like we did before on bar 1 and the crossbar. We're gonna tie that 1, 2, 3, and then put our burlap through that. And secure it. 1, 2. And we're gonna secure it. So this is the bottom part. You have your V over here where we first attached it and our V over here. And this is the front. So now we will use scissors for this part. We will just cut off the excess burlap. And you can just shove that excess burlap right underneath the bar here. Okay, so this is what we have so far. I know, it looks like nothing. Stay with me, we're gonna make this look pretty. So now let's get our blue Chanel stems. And I have this like aqua blue color that I thought was pretty, that would look good with this here, it would pop the color of the letters. So we're going to take our chenille stem and we're gonna we're going to fold it in half and make a V, okay? Now, we're going to go to that first bar again, and the first bar and that crossbar, and we're gonna secure that, just tie it. So now it looks like this. And we're gonna get our deco mesh. And we're gonna just, you guys seen this before? We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna kind of pinch that little corner of it. And then 1, 2, 3, secure it on there. So it looks like this. Now we're gonna start through bars 1 and 2. Bars 1 and 2. And we're gonna push through bars 1 and 2. And we're gonna meet the same length. We're gonna make the same length as our burlap, which we got by making a fist. But now we can make a fist and just look at the burlap and make sure that it's the same length, all right? So there's 1, and then I'm gonna push through bars 2 and 3, hold that, and then go through bars 3 and 4. Make a fist. Does it look the same? It does. Great. And then we're gonna go, we don't have to really twist the burlap. The deco mesh, if we don't want to, but if you want to, you can twist it once. And then go back through loops 1 and 2. And then go through loops 2 and 3. Hold it with our fist, and then go through loops 3 and 4. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So I'm gonna just keep doing that all the way until I finish my section or my deco mesh, whichever happens first. And just keep doing this. So I'll be right back. Okay, so it didn't quite finish the section because we're doing it so much longer because of our our burlap wreath being so far. So what we're gonna do, no problem, it ended here. I still want to add some more to that section. We're going to tie between bars 2 and 3 in the center. Okay, and we're gonna put our tail. So we tied our bars between 2 and 3. We're gonna put our little tail in there and then just secure it there. So I put my chenille stem between 2 and 3, like this, flipped it over, and then the little tail that was hanging out, I put it right in the center and I tied that in. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now we're gonna go back, we're gonna get another chenille stem. We're not gonna be able to do it on the crossbar this time because we still need to fill up this section. I don't think it's full enough. I want it more full. So I'm going to put my chenille stem this time through bars 1 and 2. So this is the front part, this is the back part. From the front, I'm gonna go through bars 1 and 2, and then I'm gonna tighten that. Okay, so here we have, we're going to get our deco mesh. We're going to pinch the end of it like this. And we're gonna put that in between our chenille stem and close it up. Now we're going to start the same process all over again, but except it won't start at the crossbar, it'll start here towards the middle. So do the same procedure. We're gonna go through 1 and 2, then through 2 and 3, then through 3 and 4. Okay, let's see if we think that's enough. I just don't want to see the bar at all. So I think we're gonna have to do one more. Okay, one more section. Deco mesh overboard. Let's look how we like that. Okay, one more section. But we're gonna do this all the way until we feel it's full enough. Now, your idea of full enough, or the deco mesh you may have, may be a little bit thicker than mine, and you may not need as much. Or you may say, no, you know what? I want it tighter. I want my color thicker. So it's really up to you. There is no wrong or right way. It's your personal preference. That's what it looks like so far. So I think I'm actually happy with that. So now I am going to take my deco mesh, maybe get it off the floor, and I'm gonna just go, I'm not gonna tie it to that crossbar because we still have deco mesh. Now, if I had finished at the crossbar, then yes, I would have tied it there. But on this one, I'm just gonna continue on to the next section and start the same process all over again. Okay, so there's only about this much left, which is not really enough for a poof. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's as far as our deco mesh took us. It's the end of the road for that little roll. Did us good. Let's take our chenille stem, make that V, and we are going to tie it. We're gonna tie our deco mesh, our chenille stem, because it ended here, through rows 3 and 4. You're just gonna tie your chenille stem wherever your deco mesh ends. So it happened to end there. So now we're gonna take our next roll of deco mesh, and right where we left off, so since we left off here, the whole section, I'm actually gonna start at 1 and 2 and just do the same thing over again, and we're gonna do it all the way until it gets here to the end. I'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, so this is what our wreath looks like so far. So actually, let's do this. Before we puff out everything, let's just go ahead and cut off our excess, our little tails here, Chanel stems. Some of you may call them pipe cleaners. And let's just cut them off now so that we don't do it later when we have our bow and all that. So I'll cut this off and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So this is what our wreath looks like, and this is the back. Now, our poofs, it looks really nice and full, doesn't it? I love this method, but we can still make it look bigger. Go big or go home. Let's just take our poofs here, and let me see, do it this way right here. And let's just poof them out. What I mean by that is some of these are tight, and we can just open them up so that our poofs are wider. So I'm gonna do that. I'm just basically, if I see a scrunched up little sad poof, I'm going to just expand it. So it has big wings and it can fly. See this one here? It's just this small. You see how small that is? Now, if I just grab each edge, look at how much bigger it got. So we're gonna poof up all of our blue deco mesh, and I'll be right back. I would definitely start on one side and then just work to the other so you don't forget, like don't just do it scattered everywhere. Because then you'll miss a whole bunch of them. Okay, this time for real, I'll be back. All right, so I've puffed everything out and look at how full this looks. This is why I love this method. All right, let's add our little seahorse. So this is our little seahorse, and I want to put him right about there. So in order to do that, we are going to use our cable mounts. Okay, and so cable mounts are basically, I don't know if you can see that, they have, you can peel this off, there's adhesive on there, and then there's little holes that you can poke your Chanel stem through, see? And this makes it so much easier to attach your signs to. Now, I am in Texas and it is hot. I mean, hot in the summer here. So I have found that this is not strong enough to hold my wreath, to hold my sign onto the wreath. So I like to go around and still put a little bit of hot glue just to make sure that it stays on. Okay, so I'm thinking of putting my little seahorse right here. So I'm going to peel this and let's put it right about here. Okay. And then, I'm losing my cable mounts, guys. Let's peel this one and let's tie this one right about here. So this is what I have. Now I'm going to get my hot glue gun and I am going to just glue around the edges, okay? Just to give it a little bit extra security that it stays on. Now, I only use Gorilla Glue for my hot glue gun. And the reason for that is because I want to say it's the only or one of the only glues that is for indoor and outdoor crafts. So it can stand up to outdoor heat better than some of the cheaper brands that are mainly just for indoor and cannot stand up to the heat. So if you're doing this as a business and you don't know where your next customer is going to be from, if they're from a hot region like Texas, you know, Arizona, anywhere in the South, really, this is going to be a problem. So I would suggest you put hot glue. And if you live in those areas, or if you're going to store it in an attic, for example, it's just a good idea just to give it a little bit extra security. So I'm going to let that cool off because I don't want to burn my fingers. And then we're going to put this on our wreath. Okay, so it's cooled off enough where I'm not going to burn my fingers. So I'm going to take my chenille stem, and I'm just gonna go through the little hole. Isn't that cool? And do that to the top as well. I do have a link in the description box if you want to order these. They're relatively inexpensive. I like them. They save you a lot of time, and I think it secures it better. All right. So now this is what our sign looks like from the back. Okay, and we are going to, and by we I mean me, but you if you do it at home too. We're gonna put this, I wanna say right about here. So the burlap is supposed to be sand, if you haven't figured that out by now. And the blue is supposed to be the ocean. So, I want to put some stuff on the burlap. So I want to give the burlap enough room on either side. I do have these cute little starfish. So I'm thinking putting one like right there. So let's measure where we want everything. I think that looks good right there. And we are going to take our chenille stems and poke through this labyrinth of mesh, burlap, and deco mesh until we can poke our wires through the other side. Okay. There's elevator music playing in my head right now as you wait for me to tie this. Okay, so on the back, you see these two little, my little chenille stems are poking out. You guys see that? Okay, so we're actually going to tie them and make sure that there is a bar in between. And I put my signs upside down like this so that I don't tie them too tightly onto my wreath. I do not like it when my sign is so tight against the deco mesh that it squishes it. And it makes it look like what I look like post-Thanksgiving wearing my pre-Thanksgiving pants. Just squished, you know, I'm just squished in there. So if I turn it upside down, it gives me a good, I could see that the wreath is even, it's not being pushed too hard, and it's a good length. So let's do that. And then we're just gonna tie it 1, 2. I'm not gonna tighten it too tight because I might look on the other side and say, oh, you know what, it's too tight. So I'm just gonna tie it once or twice. Now we're gonna get the next two, I'm gonna flip it back over and get, you see what I mean? It's not too tight. It's just on top. It's not squishing down. Okay, now make sure it's straight. Now we're going to take the chenille stems of the blue on our blue side and just poke it through again and make sure there is a bar between. That there is a bar between your chenille stems that we can tie it to. So I'm going to flip it back over so that I make sure it's not too tight. okay? And then I'm going to tighten it. And now we have a seahorse on our wreath. Okay, so that's what our seahorse looks like on our wreath. Isn't that cute already? Well, let's make it cuter. So let me get a zip tie and a chenille stem. And let's put away our regular scissors that we use to open up packages and whatnot. And we're gonna get our ribbon scissors. Ribbon scissors are the holy grail of wreath making because it makes your ribbons not fray at the end, gives it a clean, crisp cut. And you should only use your ribbon scissors for ribbon, not for paper, not for wires, not for anything else. Guard them with your life. Make sure your family members don't use them and dull them out on paper. My household is terrified of these scissors. I do have a link if you want to get some. They're relatively inexpensive. But in all seriousness, it really does help your ribbon if you just use a ribbon scissor. So I have this really pretty burlap ribbon with the same like turquoise. I love turquoise. Isn't turquoise so pretty? And turquoise like sequence edges. Look how gorgeous that is. And I have my Starfish ribbon and this cute blue with white on the edges ribbon. So let's make a bow. Now I don't want to make too large of a bow because it's not, I don't know, I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I'm not gonna tell you why. I just don't want to. No, I just think it wouldn't match. So I'm gonna do shorter tails on this one, okay? So I'm gonna measure where I want it, okay? This is gonna be my tail. I am going to pinch right there. This is very thick wreath. It is burlap and the back has another ribbon. So the back is actually like a blue. Isn't that gorgeous? A turquoise. Okay, so we're gonna pinch our tail and then we're going to extend our ribbon and let's measure about how big we want our our bow to be. I don't want a giant bow. So I think yay size. Let me see. That is an actual number, yay. It means I have no idea how big it is. I'm just looking at it and it looks good. That's what yay means. Yeah. Okay. So I measured and I came up with the measurement of yay. I'm pinching where my tail is. This is going to be my loop. So I'm going to pinch where my loop is going to end. So I'm pinching where the loop begins and where the loop ends. And I'm going to join them in holy matrimony. Now that they're joined, it looks like a squid. Fitting for this wreath, huh? It looks like a little squid. I'm going to pinch this. The secret to bow making is pinching. So pinch. Now, if you can't pinch it, this is very thick. Use a clothespin, a chip clip, any kind of clip. If you can't pinch it with your fingers, you can use something to pinch it. I have clothespins sometimes that I use. So, okay. So that's our squid. Okay, we're gonna turn it sideways. Now, this is the back, and the back is turquoise. We are going to move our ribbon. We're gonna go from the back to the front, okay? So that's what half of our bow, okay? This is one loop and this is one tail. Now we're gonna make another loop on this side and a tail hanging on this side. So this is the back. We're gonna go from the back to the front, back to the front, okay? And we are gonna eyeball it, get another yay measurement. yay squared now because we have 2 of them. And we're gonna just, before we pinch it so hard, we're just gonna measure our tails, like, and I measure them like this because I adhere to the mathematical philosophy of yayology. Yakelis? Yegonometry? Yegonometry, that's what we're gonna call it, yegonometry. So according to yegonometry, we have 2 loops with yay measurements. And yay measurements are eyeball equal. Actually, it's a little longer. Let me subtract yay from the yay measurement. I know, y'all, I'm corny, I know. So I'm sorry, bear with me. Okay, isn't that cute? So that is our first ribbon that we're going to use. And then I'm just going to cut the ribbon. And we have our first bow. So here's our bow, and this is really thick. Let's put a clip on that. Okay, we're gonna put this aside. Now let's take our next ribbon, which is our Starfish ribbon, and let's just measure the tail against our bow, and we're going to pinch. This is our tail. This is the beginning of our loop. This is our actual loop. So let's measure. We're gonna close it like this to make our squid. Okay, so this size loop is perfect because it's a little bit smaller than the loop from the bow before it, right behind it. I work from the back forward when I do my bows. Some people do it from the front, back. You know, we all make our bows differently. There really isn't a wrong or right way. It's just whatever you like to do, whatever works for you. Okay, so we have our squid. And we're gonna turn it sideways. And then we're gonna work from back to front, just like we did on the last one. So from back to front, back to front. And then we're gonna just measure our tail, our loops, I'm sorry, so that they're about the same height. Pinch the center. And then this is thinner ribbon. So if it's thinner ribbon, kind of just make sure that the ribbon is facing the right direction and that the wires aren't kind of twisted, which will change the way your tail will face, okay? So that's good. Now I'm gonna take my scissors and my ribbon scissors, and I now have this bow. So that bow is gonna go on top of the prior bow. And then I have this really pretty blue with white on the edges. It's kind of like maybe not a turquoise, but it's still matches the other blue. So I like the way it looks, and the white complements the ribbon. Before that, I thought these ribbons were really cute together. So this ribbon, we're gonna measure our tail. We're gonna pinch it, we're gonna make a loop, and our loop is going to be smaller than the loop from the ribbon before. So see that? It's a little bit smaller. That way you can see the ribbon before you, like I said, okay? Then you're gonna go on this side and go from back to front. And then let's measure our loops. That's almost equal. Okay. And we have that. So let's now cut our tails. Let's fix our ribbon where I'm pinching it. Make sure they're even again. This one looks to be a little longer. Okay. Now we're gonna put these two ribbons over our burlap ribbon. Just gonna place it on top. So it's gonna kind of look like a sandwich, the different layers, or a lasagna. I'm getting hungry. Okay. So that's what it looks like right now. We're gonna fix that. And we're gonna take, this is the back, this is the front, this is the back. We're gonna take a Chanel stem, put it right in the back, because we don't have enough things in our hand. I'm gonna add one more. And then we're gonna take our zip tie, and we're gonna tie it all together. Now, before you tie your zip tie, put it around, just check your ribbon one last time to make sure it's not all cattywampus, that it's facing the right way, that it's not twisted in that center, so that our bows look nice and crisp, our loops. So I have not secured it yet. See how much longer that one is? That happens, even though we measured it before while we're, you know, adding the Chanel stem, put in our zip tie, it just kind of wiggles and it could change. From where you put it before. Okay, so tie that up. And then we're gonna take our wire cutters, not our ribbon scissors, our wire cutters, and cut it. And now we have a pretty marine themed bow. We'll fluff the ribbons out later. So I'm gonna add this ribbon, but I'm gonna put you guys in the bird's eye view so that you guys can see it from the top down. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna tie our bow right about here. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did with our sign and just poke through our mesh to get our Chanel stem to go around our bars. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Maybe we could put it around this bar. So this is why I don't fluff out my ribbons right now, because you see how I'm squishing it. If I would have done all this stuff to make it look all pretty, it would have just all gone to waste. So I think that looks cute right there. Okay, so I'm gonna tie that. Now the ribbons, you do tie a little bit tighter than our signs. Why? Because if you don't, they tend to droop. And that does not look pretty. Okay. So now let's just kind of fluff our ribbons. So that's our wreath thus far. And I found these cute little starfish. I don't remember where I found these, to be honest with you. They could be from the Dollar Tree. They could be from Hobby Lobby. I don't know, but they sell these pretty much everywhere. So it doesn't matter where you get them from. I'll try to look for some on Amazon. If I do, I'll put the link in my description. Okay, so I think I'm gonna put that one right there. And maybe one right there. And maybe one right there. So all I'm gonna do is put some hot glue. That's it. And try not to burn myself because I am clumsy, y'all. Very clumsy. Okay, that's nice and secure. The great thing about burlap is it glues pretty quickly and it's stuck on there. Once you put it on burlap, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so we're going to put glue on this one. Right there. Doesn't that look cute? Right there. Okay, so we have that. Now I have these cute little seashells and you can break them apart. Okay, and I think I'm gonna put one right there. So this one, we're just gonna glue the edges. Put it right there. And I'm wiggling it just a little bit because that helps kind of bond it. Because this is plastic, so the plastic pretty much melts and adheres to whatever you're gluing on there. I don't know what that chemical reaction is called, but it's a chemical reaction nonetheless. Isn't that looking so adorable already? Okay, now I have these clear, they look like bubbles kind of. So I was thinking of putting these maybe like if it were like bubbles in the ocean, water bubbles. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so what we're gonna do, take this off. We are just going to put glue. That's it. And then very carefully place it where we want it. Wiggle it just a little bit. So there's one. I think that one would look good right there. Take this part off. And put that right there. And then take this off again. And we're gonna put this one right back here, kind of hidden. This is so cute. Okay. Do we want to put another seashell right there? Right there. Okay, so let's see how many burns I get this time. I am going to put it right there. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. Okay, so let's get the glue off my fingers. And then let's just fluff out our ribbon. Now, if you want to dovetail your ribbon, you can. I'm not going to on this one. And then I'm going to fluff my ribbons like that. Just give them some TLC. Little part off right here. You see this little wire? If you ever find that, just roll it back. Don't cut it, just roll it back. And that's our wreath. I'm gonna put you guys facing forward so you guys can see it from the front. Look at how cute this came out. I love this wreath. This is so cute. I love the burlap as the sand, our ocean, our little bubbles, our clams, our starfish, our little seahorse, and I love this bow. I love the ribbon that we use on it. Everything just coordinated, like just the turquoise is just so nice. I want to put on a bathing suit and get a pina colada and go to the beach right now. This is perfect either for your front door, for a bedroom, if you're decorating beach themed inside of your house, kitchen. I mean, this is just really cute. Well, if you guys enjoy this tutorial, do me a huge favor. Leave me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Let me know where you're watching me from. I am in Texas. And don't forget to subscribe so you guys get all of my tutorials. I have lots of tutorials, not just for wreaths. I have floral wreaths and deco mesh wreaths, but I have fake bakes, I have floral arrangements, all kinds of fun stuff on my channel if you like to craft. I'm also on social media. I'm on Facebook, Pinterest. What else? What else is there? Instagram, TikTok, I'm everywhere. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next tutorial. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.